Look, it seems like every single time you unlock your phone, refresh your feed, or just turn on the news, boom, there is a brand new artificial intelligence breakthrough, a new model, a crazy new capability, or some wild prediction about how the world is going to change forever. It's just a relentless, non-stop pace of information. And honestly, it can kind of feel like you're standing right in front of a fire hose of buzzwords. You hear terms like algorithms, neural networks, machine learning, and generative models just casually thrown around by tech CEOs and commentators, acting like we all inherently know exactly what they mean. But the reality, most of us don't. And that knowledge gap, it's creating a massive amount of anxiety and, frankly, confusion.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the sheer pace and confusion of AI right now, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. But hey, here is the good news. Beneath all the hype, the dramatic headlines, and the complex jargon, AI is fundamentally just a technology. It is a system built on logic and math, and it is entirely understandable once you just strip away all that noise. And in today's explainer, we're going to do exactly that. We'll break down the mechanics, the real-world impacts, and the future of AI so you can stop feeling overwhelmed and start feeling empowered. Hi, I'm Mr. Shah, and you are watching Mr. Shah Explains Tech.
Okay, let's dive into it. Here is our roadmap. First up, the great AI confusion. Then, foundational AI concepts. Third, core mechanisms, specifically neural networks. Fourth, real-world impacts and applications. And finally, we'll wrap up with the future outlook.
Section 1. The Great AI Confusion. Framing the Problem. You see, the biggest barrier to actually understanding AI isn't that it's too smart for us. Nope, it's the huge gap between hearing a buzzword and grasping the actual mechanics behind it. Because when you don't know how it works, it feels like magic, or honestly, worse, like a threat. So our singular goal today is decoding this complexity into clear, actionable understanding, completely hype-free in under 10 minutes. By the end of this, you won't just know the dictionary definitions. You're going to understand the underlying architecture. You'll be able to read the news and actually know what's happening under the hood. So stick with me, because this is going to completely change how you view the digital world. Let's move to Section 2, Foundational AI Concepts, Categorizing the Buzzwords.
All right, before we can talk about how a car engine works, we kind of have to agree on what a car actually is, right? Artificial intelligence refers to systems designed to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, reasoning, or pattern recognition. Now notice the exact phrasing there. It doesn't say the computer is intelligent in a human way. It says the computer is performing tasks that normally require a human, whether that's translating a language, identifying a tumor in an X-ray, or, beating a grandmaster at chess. AI is fundamentally just about advanced pattern recognition and execution.
But we absolutely have to make a vital sci-fi distinction here. Narrow AI is highly specialized. It is the exact technology we use today. Your Netflix recommendation algorithm, your GPS routing you around traffic, or even a highly sophisticated medical diagnostic tool, they are brilliant at one specific task. But a chess AI literally cannot tell you how to bake a cake. Now contrast that with AGI, or artificial general intelligence. This is the theoretical human-level reasoning across any task. When movies show self-aware robots, they are talking about AGI. Let's be incredibly clear. We are not there yet. We are living firmly in the era of narrow AI.
Now, within our current era of narrow AI, there are two major subcategories really dominating the conversation right now. First is generative AI. These are the systems that don't just analyze data, they create entirely new text, images, or audio based on the patterns they've learned. Think ChatGPT or Midjourney. Second, we have AI agents, and these are a huge step up in autonomy. Instead of just answering a single prompt, an agent actually operates in a loop to pursue a multi-step goal. It's like telling it to book a flight to New York and block out my calendar, and it just executes all the necessary steps across different apps on its own to make it happen. Pretty wild, right? Which brings us to Section 3, Core Mechanisms, Neural Networks, Peeling the Onion.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that right now, for most people, an AI is just a magical text box. But what actually happens after you hit enter? Let's imagine training an AI to recognize a picture of a cat. Step 1 is the input layer. This is where the raw pixel data enters the system. Step 2, the hidden layers. The data passes through millions of artificial neurons, applying mathematical weights and biases. Think of it like a bunch of microscopic voting booths calculating weighted probability. Like, does this cluster of pixels have a 90% chance of being a pointy ear? And finally, step 3, the output layer. It tallies all those weighted votes and delivers its final prediction. Yes, this is an image of a cat.
As this quote perfectly highlights, the magic of AI is just massive amounts of linear algebra, disguised by incredible processing speed. There is no ghost in the machine here. There's no sentient being pondering your questions. It is literally a staggering amount of math. We're talking basic multiplication and addition happening so unfathomably fast that it mimics cognition. Understanding this is absolutely crucial. It's the key to stripping away the fear and recognizing AI for what it truly is, a highly advanced computational tool.
Okay, Section 4. Real-world impacts and applications. Beyond the screen.
And this brilliantly illustrates how this linear algebra is actively altering our society, our jobs, and our daily lives right now. Healthcare represents 30% of current major integration. I mean, AI recently helped discover a totally novel antibiotic class in a matter of days, not years. Finance sits at 25%, utilizing machine learning for high-speed algorithmic trading and real-time fraud detection. Customer service is another 25%, completely revolutionizing how companies handle support with intelligent chatbots that actually resolve your issues rather than just passing you to a human. And manufacturing is at 20%, optimizing supply chains and actually predicting machine maintenance before a factory line even breaks down. This footprint isn't the future. It is happening right now.
But to be completely intellectually honest, we have to weigh the massive efficiency gains, the scientific breakthroughs, and the convenience of 24/7 automation against some very serious risks. On one hand, we have these incredible leaps forward, right? But on the other hand, we face potential job displacement in certain sectors and the very real issue of algorithmic bias and hallucinations. That's when the AI confidently presents totally false information as absolute fact. And crucially, we have to talk about massive energy consumption. Did you know generating a single AI image can use as much energy as charging your smartphone all the way up to 100%? It's a huge trade-off.
Finally, Section 5. The future outlook. Where do we go from here?
So, now that we understand the mechanics, the current applications, and the dual-edged nature of its impact, how do we actually prepare for what comes next? Let's map out this evolutionary arc to keep ourselves completely grounded in reality rather than just wild speculation. In the present, narrow AI and generative models completely dominate the landscape. In the near future, say over the next few years, the major shift is going to be toward those highly autonomous AI agents. You won't just ask an AI to write a single email, you're going to ask it to manage your entire project workflow, coordinating with other AI agents seamlessly. And then, in the distant future, we still have the theoretical realization of AGI. While experts heavily debate that timeline, it remains a horizon goal, not a tomorrow problem.
So, the crucial point is this. AI is a foundational tool. It is very much like electricity or the internet in their early days. It's not something to be ignored, and it's certainly not something to be feared blindly. Understanding its mechanisms, just knowing that it's pattern recognition powered by linear algebra, is the ultimate key to leveraging its power. Because when you know how the tool works, you transition from being a passive consumer of the technology to an active director of it.
To that end, I want to leave you with a clear, actionable plan. First, if you haven't already, please experiment with a generative AI tool this week. Just get your hands dirty, try it out, and see how it responds to different inputs. Second, audit your own daily workflow. Look for repetitive tasks and just ask yourself, hey, could an AI agent automate this for me? And third, make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep learning, keep understanding, and stay ahead of the AI curve with me in Future Explainers.
I want to leave you with one final, kind of profound thought to chew on today. As we build better neural networks and push this technology slowly forward toward the possibility of AGI, we have to ask ourselves a really important question. As AI marches forward, will we ensure that it remains our greatest, most empowering tool? Or, by mindlessly feeding every single aspect of our lives into these systems, will we simply become its training data? It's really up to us to decide. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.